The following program is intended for mature audiences.
Laughing
at
birds.
Welcome.
Give me a minute. If it's alright with all of you, I got some shit I need to say before we get into this video. It has nothing to do with it at all. Sorry about the podcast. I feel like I have to apologize for that. It's only 45 minutes, supposed to be an hour. I'm doing this because I'm trying to just keep my mind busy, dude, you know? Nobody tells you about this shit. Nobody warns you, you know, that, I mean, I know everything ends, bro, you know, people, animals don't live forever, but it doesn't make it any fucking easier, you know? But anyway, I don't wanna get all fucked up again. I've done enough crying, bro. I can't. Oh, God, it was such a bitch, dude. Such a bitch, dude. It's unbelievable. Okay, hold on. I'm doing it. I'm gonna do it. Whoo! Jesus. Alright, we're gonna get into the prohibition one. I know I should do the American Revolution and all of that, but given that they just legalized marijuana in the state of New Jersey, this is gonna be tough, dude. I'm gonna do this because I'm curious what the history is. Now, I'm pretty sure that this is all I know. I'm 1,000% sure alcohol was around for a while, right? I know the Germans used Jägermeister as cough medicine, I'm pretty sure. Maybe this is bullshit. Maybe I just made that up. How you like that? I hope I did just make that up, bro. What was I gonna say now? I don't remember. I think it was around for a while. Pretty sure they were trying to use it. Like, everybody was getting banged up and the government was like, bro, where's our fucking cut? And they were like, dude, we tried to cut you in on this shit and you told us to go fuck ourselves. So now we're making the goddamn money. What do you think about that? And they went, oh yeah? I say nay. And they fucking just shut the whole thing down, dude. That's what happened. I will try to watch my mouth more. Sorry. I realize I curse way too much.
This video was made possible by Honey. Click the link below
That's
to
what I
save money
heard.
on your online shopping. And also,
I don't
limited
online
edition
shop.
Al Capone pins on sale now.
Cool.
Get them quick before they sell out.
That's cool.
Link in the description down below.
If you're interested in this subject matter, I would highly recommend Boardwalk Empire. I really would. It's a show that was based in like the 20s, dude. Nucky Thompson, bro. The dude with the fuck... Michael K. Williams, bro. Get the fuck out of here, dude. Are you fucking nuts, bro? See, I said I was gonna watch my mouth. That's how I get excited. Bro, it's a great show, dude. It's a fantastic show. Very slow. Loved it. Very nice follow-up to The Sopranos, I feel like, but that's just me personally. Not even close to the same show, but I'm saying. And go. How about now? This is not a joke, dude. I have nothing to do with this. Come on, man. Are you serious?
Good morning, honey. What's for breakfast? The usual. 2 caskets of rum, a mug of hard cider, and a full bottle of wine. Oh,
To my UK fans, yeah?
boy. Oh, I'm running late. I'll have to take it with me. Don't forget your lunch. It's a 6-pack of beer, a flask of whiskey, 6 shots of tequila, and as a special treat, a banana. Oh,
What?
gee whiz. I'm gonna be smashed today. Enjoy your day of operating sharp, dangerous farm equipment. I can't believe this is an acceptable way to live.
Bro. Dude, let me tell you something. I could never drink that much. Not that anybody cares. I hung my jersey up. The last time I got really drunk, dude, that was the end of it for me. I still cannot smell chicken parm. That's all I'm gonna say, dude. Still can't smell it. One of my favorite things to eat, too. Now I can never have it again. Thank you, alcohol. Really appreciate it. That was my fault. I went too hard. I wasn't paying attention, and that's what you get.
God bless America.
Yes.
Okay, gotta go.
Somebody, please.
I love my life.
That's
America,
wild, dude.
the land of beautiful strip malls, top-class infrastructure, and wonderful urban sprawl. Ah, yes, beautiful America. But what's the most American thing you can think
Who
of?
the fuck is
the
that?
Statue of Liberty? Mount Rushmore? A crazy lady in a mobility scooter yelling at a pigeon? Well, what if I told you the answer is alcohol?
I'm
That's
sorry, I
right,
was paying
robust
half
infrastructure and
attention.
wonderful urban sprawl.
I was paying half attention. I started ramping up in my head a rant about, you know, scooter wheelchairs and food stores again. We don't want to get into all of that.
Ah, yes. Beautiful America. But what's the most American thing you can
Still
think
don't
of?
know who you
the
are.
Statue of Liberty? Mount Rushmore? A crazy lady in a mobility scooter yelling at a pigeon? Well, what if I told you the answer is alcohol? That's right. When the Puritans arrived on America's shores, they
Beer.
brought a ship packed with beer. George Washington provided his men with a daily cup of whiskey. Andrew
Really?
Jackson's inauguration party left the White House so trashed that everybody had to be ordered outside.
That's awesome. That's awesome, dude. Oh man, that's pretty funny. He ranked the whole place. That's amazing. I love it. Who is that guy?
Whiskey. Andrew Jackson's inauguration party left the White House so trashed that everybody had to be ordered
That's
outside.
beautiful.
Frederick Douglass said whiskey made him feel like a president. Me too, Frederick. Me
Yeah.
too. Americans drink at breakfast. Doctors
I did not even realize that's a joke you can make now, dude. How do you like that in my lifetime? God damn. What a world. What a world. I'm in love,
feel
huh?
like a president. Me too, Frederick.
Thing.
Me too.
Come
Americans
on now.
drink at breakfast. Doctors prescribed their patients hard liquor. In the 19th century, Americans drank 3 times as much as their modern-day counterparts. That's a lot of whiskey. Hey, Jerry, how's that report coming along? Already done, sir. I've also
Hammered.
organized your paperwork, watered your flowers, and been a father figure to your children. Wait a minute. What's that smell? Have you been drinking at work? No, sir, I would never. Well, why not? Everyone else is doing it, but I got all my work done. You're fired! Americans drink at work. They drink at barn raisins, baptisms, and public hangings. Heavy drinking was so normal that it was as American as apple pie.
Damn.
Hi, everyone. My name's Ron, and I'm an alcoholic. Get over yourself, Ron.
We
We're
all
all
are.
alcoholics.
Yeah.
But more and more Americans began to wonder whether all of this truly was a normal way to live. Were Americans drinking, perhaps, a little too much? Well, one
It's
group in
8
particular
a.m.
thought the answer to that was yes. You know him?
Who?
You love him. Woman.
What?
Crap. Woman. Ron!
Oh shit.
Hang on.
The fucking wives, bro. Of course. Somebody's got to straighten us all out, right? Women have the special touch, bro. I don't think a lot of dudes have that. We're not, most of us, I would venture to say, are not as compassionate as most women are. I think it's just in our nature.
We just want to talk. Women talking in public? That's outrageous. Come on, Rick. You've got 2 kids and a wife at home.
Rick.
Yet here you are spending your entire paycheck on booze. And you, Dr. Spanky, you were on the cusp of discovering time travel. But what did you discover instead? The sweet, sweet joys of whiskey. That's right. Alcohol. It's destroying our families, our jobs, and our homes. She's right. She's right. You know. Hang on, men. Don't let them get to you. This saloon is our safe space where our wives and children can't annoy us with reality, where we're free to be real men. He's right. He's right. I am a man. And what is it real men do?
Take care of their families, yeah.
I don't know what she's talking about. Do you take care of
I mean, she's not
No.
wrong.
We drink beer, we shoot guns, and we mud wrestle.
Who says you can't do everything?
As America's heavy drinking ruined more
She
and more
said,
lives, moral
"Bitch,
resistance
get the
began
fuck
to
home."
arise, and
What the
women
hell does it
were at
matter
the
with you?
forefront, taking matters
Raise your
into
child, bro. What I look like? What I look like?
their own hands at a
I
time
can
when women
imagine.
doing just about anything was shocking. They'd had enough of being
I'm
victims
sorry.
of
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
wrestle. As America's heavy drinking ruined more and more lives, moral resistance began to arise, and women were at the forefront, taking matters into their own hands at a time when women doing just about anything was shocking. That had
I gotta give a shout out to fucking Christine Evans, dude. Because this guy keeps saying woman when he should be saying women, and she does that all the time. I am not the grammar guy, dude. I barely can speak English. Barely. Who's that? This fucking guy just opening the door. Fuck out of here, bro. She thinks I don't know what's going on, dude. I just gave her food. Now she's running in here looking for me to feed her like I don't know. I just gave her food. Ugh.
enough of being victim to their husband's heavy drinking, and they were going to do something unprecedented. You're going to what? I'm going to protest. Oh, sweet. Women can't protest. Starting in Ohio, before spreading nationwide, women began a crusade against alcohol. They marched through towns and cities, singing hymns, gathering outside saloons, and praying on their knees. Women praying was so terrifying that in some towns, schools were shut and business stagnated. On one occasion, firemen were called out to hose down the dangerous praying women. On another, the owner of a beer garden reportedly held a cannon outside and threatened to reduce the savage women to dust. Nevertheless, they persisted. They formed the WCTU in 1874, and they organized. They set up homes for inebriate women. They installed water fountains in public. The owner women praying was so terrifying that in some towns, schools were shut and business stagnated. On one occasion, was so terrifying that in some towns, schools were shut and business stagnated. On one occasion, firemen were called out to hose down the dangerous praying women. On another, the owner of a beer garden reportedly held a cannon outside and threatened to reduce the savage women to dust. Nevertheless, they persisted. They formed the WCTU in 1874, and they organized. They set up homes for inebriate women. They installed water fountains in public parks. They wrote textbooks for school children that contained some interesting claims about drinking alcohol. Here's little Timmy. Uh-oh. Looks like Timmy's gonna have his first drink. He's taking a small sip of whiskey, and Timmy has spontaneously combusted. The end.
Motherfucker. You don't need to lie. You don't need to lie. You could easily tell the truth and scare somebody just as much, dude. I mean, really. Why you think nobody listens? This is why nobody listens, because y'all lie about everything instead of just saying what it actually is, man. Alcohol could be a good time, but you can ruin your life, and quickly. And quickly. And quickly. That's all I'm trying to say, dude. Especially now. The Twitter and Facebook and instant picture messages. Are you kidding me, dude? Thankfully, you know, wasn't running around with a phone in my hand, really. Like, oh my God, the things that I would have, forget it.
The women's efforts weren't in vain. In small towns across America, drugstores agreed to stop fulfilling prescriptions for alcohol. Men committed themselves to giving...
Prescriptions. Now this makes me wonder, is this going to be the same thing with marijuana? 20 years from now where people are going to go, what a joke, you had to pay for a license, dude? Yeah, and I'm, right, you hear the way that I'm breathing. Like, that's the other thing, too. You want to really talk about, side effects, dude. Like, let's really have a conversation. You don't need to make up stories, bro. Just look at me. Look at me. Don't be like me. You don't want to look like this. Don't do drugs. See? Nice and easy. Nobody's got to lie. Nobody gets their feelings hurt.
Up drink. Inspired by the women's moral fervor, some saloon owners closed their doors. The Women's Crusade and other temperance movements were forcing people to reconsider alcohol's role in society, and more people began to side with the growing temperance movement. Many states had even begun enacting their own dry laws that restricted the sale and use of alcohol. One of them was Kansas, where alcohol had been outlawed since 1881. Despite this, many illegal saloons remained open, and authorities had done just about nothing to stop them. One woman, disgusted by what she saw, decided she would take the law into her own
And she
hands.
burned it
And not
down.
just any woman, a terrifying, hatchet-wielding, sweet old lady named Carrie Nation. Armed with her trusty hatchet and a bag of what she called smashers, she traveled from
Rocks
town
and
to town
bottles.
visiting saloons. But she wasn't there to get smashed. She was there to smash. The men could do nothing but cower as sweet little Carrie hulked out and tore the place to shreds.
What?
She went to Kiowa and smashy smashed. Wichita, smashy smash. Topeka, smashy smash. On a couple of occasions, she was arrested, but each time they were like, "Okay, Carrie, we're gonna let you go so long as you promise
Don't
to be a good
do
girl
it
and not
again."
smash up any more saloons."
Yeah.
Okay? Screw
Yeah.
you, pig. Yeah, I think she's gonna be all right. Smash, smash,
Dude,
smash.
do you have any? Are you joking? Are you joking right now, man? You even look at a cop the wrong way and you get your head smashed in, bro. I couldn't imagine spitting on. Ugh, forget it. Forget it. Ugh. Ugh. Man, that's rough, dude. The balls. The balls.
Carrie's tactics shocked the other members of the Women's Christian Temperance Union, but she assured them, and this is a quote, "Ladies, you do not know how much joy you will have until you smash, smash, smash." Carrie became a
Hey!
household name, and she hoped her unusual
Somebody's been reading my diary. No? Nothing. Not even a little bit.
tactics would spread across the country. But unfortunately, many of the women's movements eventually slowed down. Why? Well, because of this kind of thing. Thelma, I ripped my pants again. Ugh, well, you'll have to sew them yourself because I'm going out protesting. What? I don't know how to sew.
No.
What if I burn the house down and get eaten by alligators? What? Don't be stupid, Mitch. I've got to go. Call me stupid?
He
She's
stabs
the one
himself.
stupid.
Yep, that's how it would happen. That's exactly what would happen if I tried to fix my own pants. 1000%. There wouldn't even need to be a candle in the room. The whole place would just light up, dude. Wild.
Hey, Thelma! Look who's stupid now! See, while the women were out protesting, there was nobody to do the cooking and cleaning and being seen and not heard, and they gradually had to return to their duties at home. But where the women had got the ball rolling, a new movement was about to take that ball all the way to Washington, D.C. I'm talking about the Anti-Saloon League. The Anti-Saloon League was a
never heard
political
of
pressure
this.
group run by a very sweet-looking old man.
Wayne
Don't let that
Wheeler.
deceive you. This guy was an evil genius.
Look
While the
at him.
women's movements
Of
were
course he
interested
is.
in a whole range of issues.
Hold
Wayne
on.
Wheeler and the
Hold
Anti-Saloon
on, please. Hold on, please. Women's suffrage, prison reform, child welfare, sanitation, public health, alcohol, labor laws, and internal peace.
League. Genius. While the women's movements were interested in a whole range of issues, Wayne Wheeler and the Anti-Saloon League only cared about enemy number one, Mr. Alcohol. And as a result, they were extremely effective. They were able to exploit the fears of the American people. And I mean everyone's fears. Here's how they did it. Hello, sir. Welcome to the Liberal Progressive Rally. Why don't you introduce yourself? Well, I'm Patty, and I'm an immigrant from Ireland. And tell me, Patty.
Oh, you're drunk, are you?
Yes,
Wait
I
for
drink
it.
a lot. See, folks, people like Patty come here looking for a better life,
And they
only
get
to end up
hammered.
drunk in the gutter.
Oh,
Don't worry,
please.
sir.
Oh,
We're gonna
please.
help you.
Oh, please. Oh, you snaky cocks.
Man, you're doing great. I just need you for one more thing. Hey, Christian conservatives. This is Patty. He's a dirty Catholic Irish immigrant who's come to destroy America with his alcohol-fueled debauchery. Workers were told alcohol was a capitalist ploy to keep them subjugated. Factory owners were told alcohol was making their irresponsible workers lazy. The black community was warned alcohol was hindering its progress.
Of
While
course.
racists were warned alcohol
Of course
would turn
it
black
is.
men into
Of course it
brutes.
is. It's not for any other reason, right? Like, let's not, how about we don't? How about we don't? How about we don't? That's not my place to say any of those things.
One of the
How
most
about
confusing
that?
eras of American politics, totally opposing groups found themselves agreeing on at least one thing. Alcohol was bad. The Anti-Saloon League also made great use of propaganda, something prohibitionists have been doing for decades. Take this specimen, for example, that warns what will happen to you if you start drinking. Let's see. First you take a drink, you get a
Hold
little
on.
rowdy.
Hold on. You want me to read it? I'll fucking read it, man.
Will happen to you if you start drinking. Let's see.
Step 1, a glass with friends. Step 2, a glass to keep cold out, a glass too much.
First, you take a drink, you get a little rowdy. Okay. You make some new friends. Nice. Then you become homeless. You turn to crime. And. But the most effective tactic Wheeler used to force prohibition on America was pressure politics. In any election he could, Wheeler very successfully rounded up support against any politician who was in favor of alcohol. In Ohio alone, he had 70 state representatives and the popular Republican governor ousted from office and replaced with prohibitionists. Suddenly, every politician in America was afraid of Wayne Wheeler. Even those who enjoyed alcohol in private began pretending to be against it in public.
Oh, you mean like how a bunch of people who are gay try to write laws against gay people even though they come on, bro, it's the same. They've been doing this forever. Pick something. They've been doing this forever. You know, the gay politicians do it. The guy, I'm against the drug war, but I'm gonna pop 100 Oxycontins while I pretend to do a job that nobody knows what I do.
Delicious. Malicious. Sorry, Wayne. I'm really drunk right now. Then it really hit the fan in 1917, when America found itself fighting in the First World War against Germany. Anti-German sentiment exploded. Sauerkraut became Liberty cabbage. German measles became Liberty measles. And Dachshunds became the embodiment of evil. See, America? You've always been this way. The biggest brewers in America were German.
People think that's not just... God. Why?
Wheeler saw to it that drinking alcohol became akin to pro-German treason. The German brewers desperately tried to fight back, creating their own propaganda, presenting beer as a healthy beverage, one that you could even give to your kids. As you can imagine, it didn't go down well. President Wilson instituted some temporary wartime prohibition measures to save grain for food. And with many in the country now in support of prohibition, all that was left was to make it law. One problem was that taxes on alcohol made up nearly 40% of the US government's annual revenue. And the government wasn't just about to give that up. No problem. The Anti-Saloon League helped lobby for the creation of a new income tax on the American people. And just like that,
Thank you so much, dude. Thank you so much, dude, for making everything more expensive. And they have alcohol now. How come it still exists? How come the tax still exists then? Cigarettes are still around. Why don't we ban those? Those don't do shit for anybody. Because you have to have the freedom to be able to make shitty choices. And that's the lie that we tell ourselves. That's what we do. Because we can't just imagine that, it's all about money and that's it. That's what it's all ever been about.
No longer reliant on alcohol. Prohibition was finally introduced to Congress in 1913, not just as a law, but a constitutional amendment. In 1917, as the House held their final vote on the Prohibition Amendment, Wheeler was watching from the gallery. You spineless cowards. I know half of you drink, yet here you are bowing down to Ned Flanders up there. Look at him, like he's some kind of Caesar. Ugh, don't be so dramatic. I obviously don't think I'm Caesar. Now release the lions. In the end, Prohibition passed the House easily, 282 votes to 128, and the states ratified the new amendment by 1919. America, a nation obsessed with liberty and freedom, had just voluntarily given up its private right to choose.
This is what they do. What are you talking about? This is where... Please, dude. I understand where I am. Don't get me wrong. I understand where I'm at. That I can say fuck the government and there's not somebody that's gonna come in here and hang me for it. But don't ever get it confused, man. Don't ever get it confused.
Choose whether or not to drink alcohol. We did it, folks. We fixed everything. America will be perfect forever. But you just dissolved America's 5th largest industry and lost tens of thousands of jobs for us immigrants. No, you idiot. You don't get it. We helped you, idiot. Ugh, I could really go for a beer. Oh, no. Immediately after Prohibition went into effect, alcohol consumption in America decreased as Americans followed the law and tried not drinking. Man, if we're gonna be law-abiding good boys, we need something else to fill the dark, lonely void that delicious beer once did. Well, how about we crack open a nice cold can of water? Hell yeah. Toss it over. Nah, this isn't doing it for me. Let's try knitting. This isn't filling the dark void at all. Want to play some kites? Ah, screw it. let's go get some illegal beer. While it seemed like many Americans supported prohibition, after the law went into effect, it seemed like just as many Americans intended to keep on drinking, and they would go on to find a variety of ways to break the new law. Here's a question for you. Do you like breaking the law?
Not
Well,
really.
shame on you.
No.
Or do you like saving money? when
Well,
you-
hold on. They asked me a question. Let me answer you. I don't like to, right? I don't wake up and say, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna break the law today. Fuck everybody. That's not how that goes at all. It's a series of events that wind up happening to make you go, like, I guess this is the only option that I really have. I mean, not really. When you're looking for a quick solution, dude, let's not. How about we don't? Right? Nobody watching this really. Look, dude, I don't think anybody wants to break the law and all that. If they didn't have to, I don't think a lot of people would if they were given. But whatever.
You shop online. Then
You'll make it impossible not to, though. On some real shit, you make it impossible not to, dude. Oh, here's some legal weed that you can't buy anywhere other than dispensaries where we're gonna up the price by 40% of everything that you buy. But how dare you buy off the underground market? Don't break the law. Overpay us only. We're your drug dealers, not them. It's only okay because we say so.
you should use honey. Do you ever shop in store? Of course not.
Oh,
Then you'd
watch,
have
you
to
probably couldn't hear all of this.
talk to real life people. Yuck. You'd rather shop online in the comfort and darkness of your mom's basement. And better yet, you can save money.
Is
when
it
you
My
shop
Chemical
online.
Romance
Then
poster?
you'd have to talk to real life people. Yuck. You'd rather shop online in the comfort and darkness of your
Why?
mom's basement. And better yet, you can save money when you shop online with Honey. Honey is a free browser extension that
Is it?
scours the internet for promo codes and
No.
automatically tests them when you're checking out.
Tell me more.
Look at me. I'm buying a Baby Yoda smartwatch to increase my chances of getting a girlfriend. And
$75 for a watch, bro. Why? That doesn't even look good. It don't even, what are you doing? What are you doing?
look, this Magic Dancing Coin Man has a promo code for me. Holy heckin' balls. I just saved $18.75. Watch out, ladies. And guess what? Those of you who've already installed Honey using my link have found over $247,000 in savings.
Oh my god.
So what are the rest of you waiting for, you
I don't
big dumb
know.
stinky idiots? It's free and can be easily peacefully
It's not
installed
free.
in
It's not free. Nothing in life is free, bro. They take your information in exchange. They give you a promo code for like $2 off of some shit so they can keep track of everything that you buy so they can jack the prices up on everything. Welcome to America.
2 clicks. So get Honey for free today
No
by going
thanks.
to joinhoney.com
No thanks. Not
/oversimplified.
interested.
That's joinhoney.com /oversimplified. And as always, you'll be supporting my channel.
Well,
so
I'm
thank you.
trying.
Now where were we?
I don't know.
Oh yeah.
You're the guy.
Punching Patty,
Tell
passing
me.
prohibition, and procuring pints. Pretty soon after the new law went into effect, the failures of prohibition were already beginning to rear their ugly heads. For starters, the details
I
of
don't
the
know
new
who that
prohibition
is.
law, written by none other than Wayne Wheeler himself, turned out to be more draconian than expected. Many prohibition supporters only wanted to outlaw hard liquor and hoped beer would remain legal, but the Volstead Act outlawed anything of
How about, I don't know, you're a little more specific with what you actually would like to do instead of being very vague about it and hoping that the people who do these things will actually catch your hint.
over 0.5%. That would make Liberty cabbage illegal. Secondly, the new law was full of
Liberty
loopholes that
cabbage,
Americans
oh,
very
gross.
quickly began
Cabbage
to
is
exploit.
disgusting, dude. Cabbage is gross, man. You're ugh, please. The Germans can have it, dude.
For example, while the sale and manufacture of liquor was illegal, drinking it wasn't. And you could also keep any alcohol you wanted
Bro,
before the
this is exactly like the weed law. This is 1000% the weed law in New Jersey right now, dude. Sales and manufacturing are illegal, and consumption is 100% okay if you can find it. If you can find it.
the law went into effect, so many private clubs hoarded huge amounts of alcohol that saw them through the entire Prohibition period. Whiskey intended for medicinal purposes was also allowed, and doctors basically became bartenders. It looked as though a full-on epidemic had broken out, as there was a sudden surge in prescriptions for whiskey. Sacramental wines used by churches and synagogues were also permitted. Orders for communion wine suspiciously skyrocketed by millions of gallons. And as rabbis had access to religious wine, suddenly everyone was becoming a rabbi. You had Rabbi Pat O'Leary, Rabbi LL Cool J, Rabbi Fluffy. But don't worry, I'm sure all these definitely legitimate religious figures couldn't possibly be selling wine in the back alley after Mass. Yep, definitely nothing strange going on here. New products also...
How are you mad at that? In a way, I'm kind of disgusted. Like, dude, it's not... That's gotta be super bad to impersonate something like that, right? But then again, what are you supposed to do? I would probably do the same shit. Make me some money, dude. Why not?
Hit the shelves in stores, such as Vine Glow, a brick of dehydrated grape juice, itself not alcoholic, and therefore perfectly legal. But the packaging did contain a strangely specific warning. After dissolving the brick in a gallon of water, do not place the liquid in a jug in the cupboard for 20 days, because then it would turn into wine. I'll take 1,000. Yes, sir. Now, at this point, I want you to think back for me, if you will, to the year 2005. You're the coolest kid around, and you convince your parents to rent the greatest movie of all time from your local Blockbuster. But the movie starts with a strange message, something about not downloading a car. You immediately disregard that and hop on Kazaa to download the greatest song of all time, and in the process, drain your dad's bank account with copious amounts of ransomware. You were breaking the law, you bad boy or girl, but did anyone come to arrest you? No. That's my point. If no one's enforcing a law, while everyone's breaking it, is it really a law? And so it was with Prohibition.
I mean, you can ask the cops when they come to arrest your ass. I guess that depends on where you live and what you look like. And,
Conservative-led governments of the decade were also the kind of people who believed in small government spending. So they'd passed a law that would be extremely difficult to enforce, but also didn't want to spend any of the money required to enforce it. The newly created Bureau of Prohibition only had 1,500 agents to cover the entire country. That's one agent for every 70,666 Americans. In a massive country with 12,000 miles of coastline and one gigantic land border with Canada. Good luck, schmuckos. And all these clever little loopholes people were using to score illegal booze were only just the beginning. America was about to devolve into alcohol-fueled criminal chaos. By outlawing it, Prohibition had made alcohol a precious commodity, and millions of Americans would become outlaws as they found a variety of ways to score illegal booze. For example, many Americans began making their own liquor. Illegal stills from making moonshine were found by Prohibition agents from the hills of Kentucky and the caves of Arizona to parking lots in major cities, and even in the homes of Prohibition-supporting politicians. Oh, come on now, fellas. I voted for Prohibition. I'm not gonna have an illegal still. What's this? That's my son, Freddie. Say hi, Freddie. Sir, this is obviously an illegal still. How dare you? Hey, what's this in the bathtub? That's bath water. Why does it taste like alcohol? Here's a better question. Why are you tasting my bathwater, weirdo? Come on, Freddie. Let's get away from these perverts. To discourage moonshining, the government began adding extra toxins to many of the products moonshiners were using, which resulted in many cases of severe illness and death. But alcohol wasn't just being made at home. Along America's vast coastlines, rum runners smuggled alcohol into the country by...
How are you able to even do that? How can you poison some shit knowing the people are... That's like spiking heroin intentionally with fentanyl looking to kill people. That's horrible. Somebody should fucking... How do you get away with that?
By sea, a floating supermarket known as Rum Row extended along the East Coast just beyond America's maritime limit, and bootleggers frequently sailed out in small boats to pick up shipments of booze. These bootleggers could then be found selling their illegal products everywhere, even in the holes of Congress. Wow, Pop. One day, I want to work here. Well, son, if you work hard and never give up, one day even you could be a massive hypocrite. Even President Harding was known to serve his cabinet bootlegged whiskey, and some bootleggers were so successful, they became bazillionaires, such as Roy Olmsted, an ex-cop who became one of the biggest employers in the Seattle area from smuggling booze. Unfortunately, all of his whiskey came from Canada. Yuck. All of this criminality was being made possible by...
You ain't never had Yukon Jack, apparently. I mean, don't get me wrong, yuck is not a strong enough word, but you want to get banged up, dude. The Canadians know what they're doing, dude. Yukon Jack is 100 proof. You take a couple of shots of that, and you, my friend, are going to be done for. Never
Copious
again.
amounts of corruption. Across the country, armies of government officials were persuaded to turn a blind eye. Bootleggers became so rich, it was no problem to stuff a couple $1,000s into the front pocket of the police chief.
Well, yeah, especially when you're a cop. Especially when you're a cop, you can do that. How do you think most of these drugs get around now? I would imagine has to be a bunch of people in uniforms that can just drive past the places most of us couldn't. But we don't want to talk about that.
Mayor or their disapproving mother, and some cops were getting almost as rich as the bootleggers. All right, men, everyone gather in. I've received word that one of you has been taking bribes from bootleggers. Any ideas who?
Yeah, the one.
Kevin,
Yep.
perhaps.
Yep.
Got any thoughts?
Well,
no, sir. Many
no.
police officers came from the same communities that drank a lot, and they weren't about to arrest their own granddads for knocking back some homemade gin. But all this isn't to say there was no enforcement. Plenty of government officials were doing their best to enforce the new law.
Mabel Walker, she looks like a problem, bro. She looks like a problem. Like, that lady walks into the room and it's over. Somebody is going down, dude.
And some unlucky individuals received very harsh penalties, such as a Michigan mother who was sentenced to life in prison for small-scale moonshining.
What?
Cases like these were widely reported in the media and only served to make prohibition even more unpopular. But not just that. The media also loved to cover the exploits of the most famous bootleggers, turning them into national icons. One of the biggest bootleggers was a man named George Remus, originally a lawyer who watched as bootlegger clients paid off enormous fines like it was nothing and proclaimed bootlegging's the business for me. But unlike most bootleggers, Remus had big brain, and he came up with a pretty clever system. See, there were millions of gallons of liquor produced before Prohibition that were sitting in distillery warehouses, and it could only be sold with government permission to drug companies. So Remus set up his own drug company and bottled the liquor. Then he set up his own transport company to transport the liquor. And then he would send his own men out with guns to intercept his own transport vehicles. And this would happen. Hey man, this is a stick-up. Oh no, please don't hurt me. I won't hesitate to shoot. Please, I have a wife and kids. Hand over all the whiskey, Fatty. Hey! Fatty isn't in the script, you jerk! After stealing all the whiskey from himself, he could then sell it for big bucks. The perfect crime. Unfortunately, Remus was eventually caught by a goody two-shoes prohibition director in Indiana who wouldn't take Remus's bribes, and the government found Remus guilty of violating the Volstead Act 3,000 times. For 2 years, as Remus sat in prison, his wife promised to take care of all his
Whoa. Hi, Jack of Wood Trade, Laughing at Birds podcast. Got a question, real stupid question, but maybe it's me. But maybe you can explain to me how a mother goes to prison for life for moonshining, but this guy can intentionally break the law in 8 different ways 3,000 times and he goes for 2 years? What's that about?
And by take care of his money, she meant have an affair with a prohibition agent, sell off everything Remus owned, and file for divorce. When Remus finally got out and found his big fancy mansion empty with his wife gone, he reportedly broke down in tears. A few months later, during their divorce trial, he spotted his wife in a car in Cincinnati. Remus hopped in a cab and asked the driver to run her off the road. The driver was like, okay. Then Remus got out of the cab and shot his wife.
What'd I say?
He immediately handed himself into the police.
What did I say, dude? He killed her, bro. He said, oh yeah, you wanna, I got it. I see you. Watch what I do now.
And his next trial, this time for murder, became a national sensation. Remus defended himself, claiming insanity.
Yep, I was just gonna say that.
Skillful questioning, occasionally crying in the corner. But the nation felt bad for him. His wife had screwed him over, and so when after just 19 minutes of deliberation, the jury returned and declared him not guilty, the court erupted into celebration. And just to remind you, this guy bluntly admitted to murdering his wife.
Bro, it's not about that, dude. It's not about that, dude. I know everybody's like, bro, he killed his wife in the middle of the street. That's between them. What I was saying is you can't... man, what a dirty system this is.
Mwah. As alcohol poured into the nation, a lot of it was going to a new type of drinking establishment that had been booming in popularity. A secret drinking
Speakeasies.
establishment. So secret that from the outside they often looked like ordinary shops or homes. So secret that you usually needed a password to get in. So secret that everybody knew about them. Speakeasies. And once you were in, the party went all night long. Scantily clad flappers, snake ladies, jazz. It was a roaring time to be alive.
The roaring
Some publications
20s.
even posted reviews of these illegal clubs, and bribes galore kept the party going.
Bro,
it seemed like half the police officers.
Nobody else think this is weird? Prohibition happens in the 20s, huge ass virus breaks out, must kills everybody, blah blah blah. You know, now we're doing the same shit, except now instead of alcohol, it's marijuana. It's the big thing in the conversation, and mushrooms.
Officers and federal agents in cities like New York were receiving kickbacks from speakeasy owners. Hey, what the Kevin Costner is going on here?
Give me a drink.
Officer O'Hannity, taking bribes? Why am I not surprised? Prohibition Director Simmons? For shame. Mom? What would Dad say? Ask him yourself.
He's
Dad
right here.
would say, quit being such a wet blanket and let Daddy earn his tips. Anytime a speakeasy was shut down by authorities, it
All
seemed like
right,
3 more
dude,
would
whatever
just
you
pop up
wanna do.
elsewhere. And some neighborhoods were so full of them that one resident began hanging a sign to try to keep partygoers from constantly knocking on her door. It really seemed like the new laws regarding alcohol, in some places, were simply being ignored. And one prohibition agent who traveled the country liked to see which city was the most defiant by timing how long it took for him to be offered a beer after he arrived.
That's
His
probably
winner?
the guy from
New
Boardwalk
Orleans, where a
Empire.
cab driver offered him a drink after just 35 seconds. Bravo! Many voices in Congress were
Wait,
already
who
speaking.
won it?
One prohibition agent who traveled the country liked to see which city was the most defiant
Yeah,
by
I
timing
got
how
that
long
part.
it took for him to be offered a beer after he arrived. His winner? New Orleans, where a cab driver offered him a drink after just 35 seconds.
Of course it is. Mardi
Bravo.
Gras, dude.
Many voices in Congress were already speaking out against prohibition and its failures. To display how ridiculous the whole thing was, one Republican congressman gathered the media to all come and watch him drink a homemade beer. When he asked a passing police officer if he'd like to arrest him, the officer said no. Hey Wayne, is all this what you had in mind? I thought we were gonna make the country better, but it almost seems like it's worse. What do you mean? Alcohol consumption is down. Well, that may be true in your small town world, but it says here drinking in some areas is up, as are arrests for public intoxication, drunk driving, and incidents of liver cirrhosis. The general chaos has turned America into a nation of criminals with no respect for the law, and all these attempts at enforcement are just costing the economy valuable money and eating up judicial time and resources. Release the lines.
Yep.
The social change and corruption that Wheeler and the Anti-Saloon League had been so eager to prevent, in the cities at least, was surging. See, when something's legal, you can usually regulate and control it. But make that thing illegal, and often anything, becomes fair game. Legal drinking age, gone.
Yep.
Mandatory closing hours for
Gone.
clubs and bars, gone. Other unspoken sociocultural rules
Women shouldn't get drunk. Men and women shouldn't drink together. People shouldn't pee in their neighbor's mailbox while singing Danny Boy.
surrounding alcohol, gone, gone, gone. In speakeasies, different genders and ethnicities were beginning to mingle in a way they hadn't done before. The Roaring Twenties saw a monumental shift in culture, not least of all because now men and women could flirt in public without being damned for eternity. An outraged Wayne Wheeler did his best to make sure that anyone breaking the law was punished. He had even stricter legislation put in place in New York. But all
Why
this did
even
was clog up the
bother?
justice system with petty drinking violations, and judges began letting everyone off with light fines, so the judges could get back to dealing with things that actually mattered.
Yeah, like
Things
rapes
murder.
and shit.
And there was plenty of murder. Because bootleggers and moonshiners were one thing, but prohibition had given another kind of criminal an opportunity to make a fortune.
Cartel types.
Mobsters and
Yep.
gangsters. Hey,
Yep.
Fat Tony. Big news. Hey, Fat Joey. What's up? I just got word from Fat Louie here that the government's outlawing alcohol. You know what that means.
Blam, blam.
That means we're gonna be
You're
rich.
dead, bitch.
Quick, call Fat Polly and let's go hijack a liquor truck now. All right. Hang on. Let me tell my wife first. Hey, Fat Susan! No pizza for Fat Joey tonight, capiche? Stop calling me Fat Susan.
Can you imagine?
Forget about it. Rival gangs began to battle in America's cities, raiding each other's transports, assassinating rivals, and trying to take control of their city's illicit booze trade. Every city had its top dog. Detroit had the Purple Gang. New England
Oh,
had Charles King
shit.
Solomon. But no city was as infamous for gang violence and murder
As
as
Chicago.
The
Oh,
city
how'd
had
I
gang
know it?
factions, and at first,
Bad
they wanted to stay in their own
motherfuckers out
neighborhoods.
there,
But
dude.
the thing about criminals,
Bro, Chicago doesn't fuck around, dude. They don't play games in Chicago, man. They really don't. I would never go there. I would never go there. You know why? Because I would be killed instantly. That would just be my luck. It would not be on. Nobody would even want to do it on purpose. It would just be a random bullet would just hit me in the head or some shit. And I'd be like, damn. So much for the deep dish pizza or whatever it is you do out there.
Is that they're criminals, and the agreements inevitably broke down. One day, the leader of the Italian Southside gang was walking along the street when this happened.
Bang, bang.
And he was like, you know, I think I'm done with this, and left for New York, leaving his crime empire to his chief enforcer, none other
Al
than Al
Capone.
Capone. Having been knifed in the face in his younger years, Capone earned himself the name Scarface. Although interestingly, he hated that nickname and preferred to be called
Fuck this
Snorky.
guy.
Snorky.
This guy sucks. That's right. I said it. I said it. This dude is everything that is wrong with, I don't want to say crime, but look, dude, not all of us are meant to be 9-to-5ers, right? We all don't make great decisions. Here's the point, bro. There used to be a time where you can get into some things, right? You do what you have to do for a little while. You get what you gotta get, and then you get the hell out of there. You don't go and buy fancy suits and expensive cars and bring all that attention onto yourself. That's stupid. Unfortunately, that's what this guy is best known for, is being one of the most flashy gangsters ever in history, outside of John Gotti, probably. But I never liked that. I never was into that, dude. Everybody's trying to be quiet, and you're over here, you know, the cigars and suits and all kinds of shit, bro. This is the reason why any of us even know what the mob is right now.
Was ruthless, just like any other gang leader in America. But what set him apart from others, the reason he's become synonymous with 1920s gang warfare, is this. Most
The
other gang leaders
Valentine's
would try to
Day
keep a low
Massacre.
profile because, you know, they're killing and murdering and stuff. But Capone lived for the fame and kept an extremely high public profile, frequently speaking with the media about his exploits and presenting himself as a gracious host, providing
Idiot.
Chicago with good
Idiot.
times. No need to thank me, fellas. I just provide the city with a valuable commodity while doing away with the competition. You mean you murder people? Whoa, who said anything about murder? I just, you know, force my rivals underground. When you do the thing with the hands, it seems like you're talking about murder. Whoa, look at you with the brains. No, I just help people retire
Yeah, we retire them.
from life. So
Yeah.
murder. Whoa! Al Snorky Capone was somewhat of an enigma, brutal in how he dealt with enemies. But in front of the camera, he was all smiles.
Sweet,
One day,
yep.
he'd be ordering hit after hit. The next, he'd be signing autographs in Wrigley Field. One day, he'd be bludgeoning members of his own gang with a baseball bat for conspiring against him. The next,
Oh,
he'd be
that's like
playing
that.
Santa.
That's like that movie. That's like that movie with Robert De Niro in it, dude. I can't remember the name of it. The one where he goes, I want his family dead. I want his house burned to the ground. I want to go there in the middle of the night. I want to piss on his ashes. That one. That was a good one, dude. I want his dog dead. I want his... Oh, God, dude. That's a good movie.
A nearby parochial school, and no murder could ever be traced back to him. Just like every other criminal, he stuffed the pockets of city officials with cold, hard cash. And any who did try to oppose him sometimes found themselves being thrown down the steps of City Hall in broad daylight. Problem solved. The public
That's
couldn't get enough
crazy.
of Capone. He quickly became a household name as people romanticized the gang life he lived. And this became a source of concern for the people at the very top. President Hoover? Ugh, what is it now, Miles? I'm busy. Well, it's just that there's a lot of
FBI
crimes.
guy, right?
Crime? How long's that been happening? Well, since the dawn of man, sir. What? Would you like me to blame it on the Democrats again?
Of
No,
course,
Miles.
yeah.
I want you to blame it on squirrels.
Yeah, let's
Yes, the Democrats. Now stop wasting my time. Since
Bro, you both suck. You ready to piss off everybody? You both are terrible. I've never felt represented by a Democrat or a Republican in my entire life. You all should be ashamed of yourselves. Every one of you. Every one of you. Because you say that you're for the betterment of the people, and you're not. You are not. And I don't care if we all don't agree politically. I'm absolutely sure that we could agree on this. The people that are in these positions of power, what do they even do? First of all, because it seems like, you know, whenever they need to do something for everybody, they drag their ass. But when they want something to be done, no, dude, when they want that census filled out, you better believe they know where you live then, huh? They know where you live at then. Ugh, gross.
having a crime lord controlling public officials and winning the hearts of the people probably wasn't a good thing. Hoover personally ordered that something be done about this Capone fellow. But before he knew it, President Hoover was also dealing with another major problem. You know him, you love him, woman. The Prohibition era had been going on for nearly a decade, and anyone with a brain could see that it really wasn't going very well. One person with a brain was Pauline Sabin, an extremely influential and rich woman who served on the Republican National Committee, fundraised for Republican presidents, and had a secret wine room in her giant mansion. She initially supported Prohibition, but was now disgusted at the chaos it had created, and she began a new women's movement, this time not for Prohibition, but against it. Being the extremely influential woman she was, her new organization gained nearly 1.5 million members within 2 years, 5 times that of the Women's Christian Temperance Union.
Imagine
she hated
that.
that the WCTU claimed to speak for all women, and she began calling for the repeal of the 18th Amendment. President Hoover, I helped fund your campaign, and now I want you to end Prohibition. Miles, what is it I say when I'm not going to do anything? You'll look into it, sir. Pauline? I'll look into it. Sabin gave speeches on the steps of Congress and helped start a growing push among the American people against Prohibition. But Hoover, a prohibitionist himself, wasn't budging. Then, on the 14th of February 1929, something happened that shocked the nation. Men, thought to be working for Al Capone, tricked some Irish mobsters into meeting them at a garage
Valentine's
in
Day
Chicago, thinking they
Massacre.
were there to purchase hijacked whiskey. Instead, the mobsters were lined up against the wall by men dressed as police, and they were shot. The Valentine's Day Massacre had people outraged. It was cruel and almost felt like American mobsters
I don't know shit about history, dude, but you could believe I know the Valentine's Day Massacre, huh?
had finally crossed a line.
Come
People
on
were
now.
sick of the violence, and in part, they blamed Prohibition for helping to create it. The pressure on
Bro.
Hoover to do something was steadily increasing. Fine. Miles, I want you to put a report together to see if this whole thing is working. You mean the thing where mobsters are becoming increasingly powerful and massacring each other in the streets and everyone is disregarding the law and half our public officials are corrupt and taking bribes? That thing? Yeah, I want to know if it's working or not, Miles. Stop wasting my time! Hoover continued to drag his feet on Prohibition.
These
but
guys
after
are
the
dope.
Valentine's Day Massacre, he was still determined to do one thing. He wanted Al Capone in prison. Since Capone had been so careful, the FBI were having a hard time charging
Tax
him with anything,
evasion.
but eventually, they got him. Capone?
Him
you
and
know,
Wesley
you supply Chicago
Snipes,
with
bro, you gotta pay your fucking taxes, apparently, dude. I don't know nothing about that life, but I do know this. There's only 3-letter organizations, you know, that's what you should be afraid of. IRS, the FBI, you know, things like 3-letter organizations, no good. DEA, ATF, no good, dude, no good.
alcohol, and you've been involved in countless murders. Whoa, look at you with the crazy talk. I ain't done none of that stuff. But you're rich, right? You're damn right I am. And so where'd all the money come from,
Fucking
Capone?
idiot.
All right, I'll let you in on a little secret, but you gotta promise not to tell anyone,
It's
okay?
from your mom.
I don't pay my taxes. Whoa! For all of his murdering, the IRS finally got Capone on tax evasion. At his trial, he didn't
Idiot.
seem too concerned though, and spent most of his time having a laugh with his lawyers. Hey Capone, I gotta know, why are you so confident you're gonna win here? Well, Your Honor, because I'm an honest man with a big heart who's passionate about working for the good of the people. And also because I threatened the entire jury's families. Luckily, at the last minute, the judge replaced the entire jury pool with a new one that Capone's men hadn't yet got to, and Capone was found guilty. He was sentenced to 11 years in federal prison,
Where
the
he-
harshest penalty ever given to a tax evader. But even with Capone locked away, the violence in Chicago and other cities continued. And in response, the movement against Prohibition continued to grow. And the final nail in Prohibition's coffin came in 1929. After a decade of booming economic growth under 3 Republican presidents, the stock market plummeted, and America was thrown into the grips of the Great Depression. It was an awful time. 1 out of every 5 workers, 15 million people, would lose their jobs.
We're
Half the nation's
right there
banks
now,
failed.
I think.
Temporary shantytowns were built for the broken homeless in public parks. Suddenly, very
York
few
City.
people had time to care about Prohibition. Expensive enforcement of an unenforceable law didn't seem like that big of a priority when people were having their homes repossessed and losing their life savings. And many began to argue that repealing Prohibition would create vital jobs and tax revenue for the government. Yet President Hoover doubled down. Here's that report you asked for, sir. Gimme. Prohibition is great. Fantastic news. Sir, it says here Prohibition is great at undermining the rule of law in America. Miles, it says the word great. That means good. Now stop wasting my time! The public, increasingly shocked at the violence they saw in the streets, the corruption they saw in the government, the general disregard for the law, and now an economic calamity, had had enough. For his re-election, Hoover faced a Democratic candidate who promised to finally do something about Prohibition, Franklin D. Roosevelt. Crowds cheered as FDR made his campaign speeches promising to modify the Volstead Act, and Pauline Sabin, a lifelong Republican, along with her 1.5 million supporters, endorsed Roosevelt.
No
And on
shit.
Election Day, it was a landslide. Before FDR had even taken office, Republicans in Congress began the process of passing the 21st Amendment to repeal prohibition. One of FDR's first acts as president was to pass the Beer Permit Act, which made beer legal while the new amendment was being ratified. In 1933, with the passage of the 21st Amendment, prohibition was finally over, and the people celebrated like they'd just won a world
Yeah, well,
war.
hold on.
Bars and taverns.
What happened to the people that went to jail? How come nobody brings this up, dude? Do they get let out? Because the same shit's going on with this weed thing, bro. People get arrested. You get arrested for something that's legal now. You should be able to be let out. I understand. Some people might be like, well, you know, you broke the law. Either way, it doesn't matter. Just because it's legal now, it wasn't legal then, and you still broke the law, whatever. But I mean, come on, dude. Let's not get crazy, huh? I mean, I get it. Maybe I'm soft.
Were packed. The WCTU were inconsolable. Wayne Wheeler was dead. And the celebration, particularly in America's cities, was intense. Heading into the mid-1930s, the effects of prohibition were clear to see. From now on, culture around drinking had changed, with men and women drinking together, not in saloons, but in bars and taverns. The crime syndicates that had been given so much power through prohibition remained powerful as they moved on to other things.
Yeah.
Some states opted to remain dry, with Oklahoma only repealing its prohibition laws in 1959.
What?
To this day, there are still counties in America with some form of prohibition. So what did we learn today,
Really?
kids? What's the big lesson here? What's the moral of this story that we
I
can all
would
take
tell
away
you.
and
I would tell you.
apply to our day-to-day lives?
I would tell you, dude. If you don't be more specific with what you actually would like to do. Don't jump on a bandwagon just because it's the cool thing to do, dude. Because you don't know. Look, I understand nobody wants people drinking in the streets and throwing their lives away, but you have to be able to have a balance, bro. You can't just take everything away and go, "No, you can't have this." There has to be, you know, responsibility somewhere, dude. You know, it's like this, bro. Forget it. I don't even want to get into it.
Maybe that you shouldn't force your own morals on others who don't share them? Maybe that if you tell Americans not to do something,
They're
that's
gonna
the
do
one
it.
thing they'll definitely do.
100%.
Or maybe there is no lesson. Maybe we're all just a bunch of dumb, stinky idiots, and we're all doomed.
Well,
The end.
thanks, I guess, right? Look, we are doomed. We are doomed, bro. This is bullshit. Bro, I'm killing my lungs right now because edibles are illegal, which is the dumbest shit I ever heard in my life. Hashtag, never mind. I say it enough. But because of the children, because you don't want to have a conversation with your child, because you don't want to have a conversation with your child. You know what, dude? How about this? I would talk to your children about drugs. Why don't we do that? They could take a good look at this space and they could go, I definitely don't want to be that when I grow up, right? And the sad part is, this is not even like really hard drugs, dude. You can imagine. Still, look, I get it, man. I get it. I personally feel like it would be easier, not right away probably, if we legalized everything. I'm not for people doing, you know, shooting up heroin and all that. Although, I think it would be better if it was at least regulate. Like, you know, you could do things that you can give people the chance that actually want to get off of it, to be able to get off of it clean the right way, dude. And if they relapse, they're not going to go out and buy 4 fucking bags and then shoot them and kill themselves because their tolerance is lower. You avoid all of that. And then the other half of the conversation is people going, well, you know what, dude, if that's what they want to do, then let them do it. But this clearly is not working. What is the point of leaving something illegal, fighting for it to be illegal for years just to turn around and then go, okay, now you can have it. Now you can have it. Now that we made our money off of it, now you can have it. It just doesn't make sense, dude. It really doesn't make sense. But whatever. What are you going to do? Interesting enough, I guess you could say.